Hey everybody, this is the Shenandoah County Sheriff Tim Carter, and today I have a returning guest, a friend of mine, Beth Veney-Ogle. Beth is a director of Response Incorporated.
Yes.
Response is our shelter for domestic violence here in Shenandoah County, and we're just going to talk about some things coming up this spring.
Okay.
So you were telling me earlier, I think certain months, certain designations for the coming months. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So this April, we have two awareness events that happen in April every year. So the first is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. That's obviously for the entire month. And then Child Abuse Prevention Month is also in April. So we do several different things during this time. We put up a display at the chamber office that just kind of talks about the numbers in our community and what we're doing and gives contact information. And then we list tons of stuff on our website and social media pages. So really just going hard with awareness for sexual assault and for child abuse. And those two do go hand in hand. A lot of times when we're looking at child abuse, we're seeing sexual assaults there as well.
Are you seeing, I don't know, I think our numbers are staying fairly steady with regard to those kinds of things. Is that what you guys are seeing in your world or no?
No, we're actually seeing an influx of getting calls for sexual assaults. We are actually, we've been talking about this in our SART team, which we lead with the Sheriff's Department.
Right.
That's a partnership there that we really appreciate. And so the SART team is our sexual assault response team. And that's us and other law enforcement agencies, Commonwealth Attorney's Office, just getting together and talking about the trends that we're seeing and how to combat those. And we've actually seen an influx in calls, but it's going down, people actually getting involved in the criminal justice system once they've been assaulted. So we're trying to figure out.
So what do you mean by, so you're seeing an increase in calls, but less people going to court?
Yeah, less people reporting.
Less people, okay, reporting, okay. And I guess some of that might have to do, well, I mean, I would imagine, not might have to do, some of that, are you considering the cyber kind of things with this? And we are seeing that too,
yes.
an increase in that kind of stuff.
We see that, we see it, we're seeing an increase in when we have domestic violence calls, that there are sexual assaults attached to that. And people just want to move on more so than getting involved in the criminal justice process, which can be a long process, or they don't understand, they don't feel like they're going to be believed, so they don't want to report. And it's not that they don't feel like law enforcement won't believe them. They are very concerned from the outset what that court process will be like.
Right.
And it scares them.
Right. Now, you guys used to have, I guess you have a position there. It's a sexual assault coordinator. Is that what it's the title of that?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
We still have that. That's Sarah Holver. She does that work. And then our court advocate does a lot to
once you get into court, right?
Yeah. And even before, to talk them through what the process is going to look like to make it a little less intimidating. And she helps lead that SART team. So she can say, hey, this is the investigator that we're going to talk to. And so she's formed really good relationships with investigators and detectives around the county, and they do a really good job of handling these cases. And so then that once we're able to get them in touch with law enforcement, then they are more likely to continue and in the process. When it's when they have a good interview, they feel like somebody believes them, then they are more likely to keep going and stay in the process. It's just getting to that point.
Right.
It's hard.
Right. As far as a person who's been the victim of a sexual assault, what would your first advice be as far as that goes?
My first advice would be to talk to someone. It can be really hard to talk to people about that. It's an uncomfortable conversation. It's surprisingly less uncomfortable to talk to an advocate about it, kind of like talking to your doctor about something that you might not want to share with family or something like that. But definitely talk to someone. It doesn't mean that you have to report. It doesn't mean that you have to do A, B, C, and D, but just talk to someone about what's going on, because it will stay with you.
Right.
It will come back up if it's not something you just kind of push away and never deal with, because at some point you will have to deal with it. And usually a lot better for you if you can report to an advocate pretty early on and just have someone, or a therapist or a counselor, somebody that you can talk to that can help you understand the dynamics, help you understand the weird feelings that you might be having about it, any shame that you might be dealing with for it, and to get that, to talk about that and get some resources to overcome it.
Right. I know from our perspective, when I say ours or law enforcement perspective, time is an important aspect of it. There's probably the healing portion, and then there's from our perspective, the criminal justice portion. So the time is important from our perspective with regard to victims of crime, regardless what the crime is, quite frankly. Child Abuse Prevention Month, which is the same month.
It is.
Programs or things that you guys are involved in there.
Yeah. So same thing. We're on our social media pages. What we really want to do is get the community involved. Like, if you see something, say something. If you are noticing that a child might not have a great home life, might be experiencing something, talk to them, reach out, see what you can do to get the ball rolling, to get them help. Because kids, they are very dependent on the adults in their life. And so it's not easy for them to tell on the adults in their life because that's their support system. And if they lose that, where are they going to go? What are they going to do? And they care about their support systems, even if those people aren't great to them. So it's a really difficult dynamic, and a lot of kids are suffering, and we don't even know about it. So if you see something, say something. Talk to children. We want our communities to be a safe place. We want the homes that these kids are going home to be safe places. And we have some control over that, and we can talk to these kids and just, even if we're not getting them out of the homes, if we can just be a safe space for them.
Right.
And an example of a trusting, loving adult for them. That can make a big difference.
Right. Now, just like you all have your sexual assault coordinator with Response, do you have a staff member whose focuses on youth and child issues?
We do. So we have a children and youth advocate. Her name is Madison. And we also have Savannah Miller, who does all of our prevention work. And prevention is a new program that we've just started in the past year, and we're so excited about it. She is phenomenal. She's in all the schools, including preschools in the county, and talking to families, not just the kids, but their families. So the prevention curriculum that we that's been developed and that we're using, it's all state approved, and it's great because it really helps parents and kids talk to each other, and it helps parents because a lot of times when a child is assaulted, it is by somebody they know, and so it's a really good way for parents to start those conversations in age-appropriate ways. Right. A lot of times parents don't know how to start those conversations, and they just hope that it doesn't happen to their child. Yeah. But it's just like talking to your kid about fire safety or any type of safety thing. You're not being graphic in that description, but you are giving them tools to understand how to keep themselves safe, how to tell if they feel unsafe, how to talk to an adult that they don't feel safe around. It's all these tools. And so she's helping kids from preschool to high school know how to do that. Right.
And I think a lot of times people, they look at a child, maybe they don't think, that just happened, and they'll forget about it. Kids don't forget.
They do not.
And they don't.
They don't. Kids are resilient. I'll give you that, but no, they don't forget. And
it has an impact, I guess.
Absolutely has an impact. We know that it has health impacts. It has behavioral impacts.
Right.
It affects a child for the rest of their life if there's not an intervention.
Right. Okay, Beth. So you guys are also planning your largest. It's a fundraiser. You're probably accepting donations year long.
Always
and,
accepting
whether they
donations.
be monetary donations or help with other items that you might need at Response. But you're planning your large fundraiser for May, I believe.
May 19th. So
Okay.
the weekend after Mother's Day. So it's
Okay.
a perfect Mother's Day gift, but it is our spring fashion show.
Okay.
It's being held at the Woodstock Moose this year. We have done it at Woodstock Brew House in previous years, and we've just grown and needed a bigger space. So we are going to be having it at the Woodstock Moose. May 19th, starts at 2, but tickets are on sale now. So you can go to our website, which is responseva.org, and you can get the tickets there. You can always call our office, and we're happy to do that over the phone. And but it is our biggest fundraiser of the year. Those proceeds are used throughout the year to help with whatever needs might come up. So shelter, helping for maintenance costs to keep the shelter running, and for all the supplies that we need to have on hand for our families. All of that stuff.
Okay, so it starts at 2:00 that day?
Starts at 2:00, yes.
Okay, on May the 19th.
Yes.
Okay.
And we have different people from the community who are coming to be our models, and just, it's a great way to get to know people in your community. You don't
allow people to throw tomatoes or anything like that at the models.
No, it's a safe space for the model. No, it's just a good time. It's a fun atmosphere. There's food that is served, drinks, and it's just a good time to be with your friends if you want to bring them, community members, and to do something good for you. That's
right. Yeah, it is. And with all the things you guys are involved in, this is really important that you get community support this way.
Absolutely.
I know Response has been there for a long time.
Yeah, 1980.
In Shenandoah County. And you couldn't do the work that you do without the staff and the leadership that you all provide, as well as the support from the community.
Absolutely. So, we are fundamentally not able to exist without support of our community.
Right. Okay. Well, Beth, again, thanks so much for coming in today and talking to us a little bit about these upcoming events and upcoming items of recognition for Response, what you guys are involved in, and we look forward to bringing you back in the future.
Thanks. I always appreciate being here, so thank you for having me again.
Sure. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, everyone. Again, this is the Shenandoah County Sheriff, Tim Carter, and thank you for joining us today. You can find this podcast and other podcasts on my YouTube channel at Timothy Carter. And while you're there, make sure you click the subscribe button so you can get new show updates. Again, thanks so much and have a great day.